What's up, preppers? Welcome back to another video. Just doing a quick recap of last night. If you joined me last night, thank you very much. We did a 6.5-hour live stream of all the results coming in. Got a bit chaotic at one point. Had to switch maps halfway through because me trying to find the locations was a nightmare. It was all quite funny. The audience joined in. Scottish Prepper 73 joined me for the first hour as well, for the hour or two. Which was good. Got lots of information from him. So if you get a chance to watch the replay, definitely go and check that out. But the recap is Starmageddon is here. Labour's won with 412 seats, which is an increase of 211. Conservative got 121 seats with a decrease of 251. Lib Dems gained 63 seats, and they actually look. They've not looked like a party this big for quite a while. So they're on 71. And Reform, of course, got 4 seats. Now, as I record this, we still haven't had all the results. Insane, I don't know what's going on, but Inverness, Skye and West Rossshire results are still waiting. Still being counted, apparently. Reform do have a candidate up there, Dylan Hill, as well as SNP, Labour, Conservative, Green and Lib Dems. So 1 seat still up for grabs. Now, is this an utter failure of Reform? Because I was trying to be non-biased before the election, so I didn't influence anyone. But I'll tell you now, I voted Reform. Okay, I have my reasons. It's nothing to do with Nigel Farage. I was looking at their policies before he even became the leader. So, judge me all you want. I respect your opinion. You should respect everyone else's when it comes to politics. Now, they've got 4 seats, okay? So 4 seats, you think, oh, that's a utter failure when it comes to something like this. But it's not, because you consider they've been going, what? The party's less than a year old. Farage only just jumped in as the leadership not so long ago. They've only really started campaigning over the last month. Their budgets have been minuscule. Now, political parties get something called short money allocations. And what that is, for every 200 voters they get £38.75. Now, this is based on the 2022 numbers. I'm not sure if it's changed since then, but I think it's the same. And for every seat, they get £19,401. So you imagine, as a new party going in there, you don't get any of this. Yet all of the other parties have had that money. So Reform's gone in on a shoestring budget, campaigned, and the votes they've got, the share of the vote is excellent. Labour, 33.8% share of the vote. Conservatives, 23.7% of the votes. Reform, 14.3% share of the vote, and Libs are only 12.2% share of the vote. So although Liberal Democrats do have 71 seats, we actually got a larger share of the vote, because obviously we were contending for these areas where Labour won, but we were close behind with 10 to 12,000 votes. So we've got a massive percentage of the population. Now, is that the best we could do? I definitely think not. I think a lot of people have shied away from voting Reform, despite being interested in it and being interested in their policies, because the media has completely tarnished them with a shit-stained brush. I'm not even going to sugarcoat my words on that one. They've just thrown mud on them constantly. And calling them hard right-wing and far right-wing party. It's really not a far right-wing party. It's as right-wing as the Conservative Party was in the past. It's as close to the real Conservatives, or how they should have been, or how they promised to be and never worked out to, as any other party. They're all for the working man, raising tax allowances to 20,000, using trickle-down economics to help pay for that and to boost our economy and build growth. It's not just... We're not talking a UKIP here or something like that, where it's a one-party policy. Yes, immigration has took the focus of this election. Why? because it's a major issue and it's not something they can hide anymore. Not with social media and videos and people filming these boats landing on the bloody beaches and people running past and filming these hotels that have been seconded to house people. It's in the public eye now, so it was always going to be the immigration election, even if reform wasn't in it. Now, they are a legitimate, as far as I'm concerned, political party with a manifesto that touches on all the subjects it needs to touch on, showing how they'll do it, and they have spoke and addressed how they'd pay for it. So they need to be treated accordingly. Now, from what they've gained, 4 seats at the moment, there's still that seat to declare. They got 4,072,947 votes, not including lost postal votes. That equates to, in the short fund, in the short allocation money, £789,133.48. And then they got 4 seats, and that total value is £77,604. So you're literally just under £1 million for a party that had no funding hardly before, plus the amount of party members that signed up in the last 3 or 4 weeks, paying their membership for the party. The funding would have been too little too late after Nigel joined. You know, by the time they released that funds, they could only spend so much per candidate. And I do think a lot of these places, candidates haven't had time to campaign. And where I'm at, there was no reform candidate until a week before the election. So they were rush appointing these candidates, getting people in, but they've no time to campaign. People don't know who they are. It's always going to massively affect it. So next election, 5 years' time, we could see politics completely shaken up. We could see a complete revolt, a complete revolution. But time will tell. We don't know. There might be an election a lot sooner than that. There's scary things on the agenda now, in my opinion. All I would recommend, we'll do further advanced videos into how, why, and what. But I would definitely recommend prepping for financial turmoil. Different effects of that at the moment, because the track record of Labour and the track record of Conservative creates an economy that waves like this. And we might have an up to begin with. The first budget they put out will make everyone probably go, oh, wow, that's amazing. They're doing so much for us. When it comes to paying the piper, it's going to start to crash very quickly. Personal opinion again, personal opinion. If you vote Labour, I respect your choices. I hope you vote for the current manifesto and the current people in there, not just because your granddad did. It's really a different party to what it was. Anyway, other news, SNP took a huge blow. They must be completely out of touch with the people in Scotland to even imagine they were going to do any better than last time. They lost 38 seats and they were down to 15. So that was a huge hit for the SNPs. Obviously, they'll get the money for the seats, but I think even their votes are less than what the actual Reform Party got. So we are technically the third most popular party in the country, and probably is the fourth best funded after this election. So if the Lib Dems can carry on doing good, which I hope they do, and Reform can get to where we want them to be, we could end up with this crazy thing called a fair play, a level playing field with 4 parties to vote for in the election. And you won't have the people going, oh, there's no point voting, my vote won't count, because it'll be a tight race. It's clear that it was this time. And if you voted for Labour just so you didn't get the Conservatives in, I understand. I do understand. They have lost my trust as well. but your vote is better being an honest one. So next time, make sure you vote with your heart and your head. Do the right thing, whether that's Conservative, Labour, Lib Dems, Reform, SNP, Independent, whatever you want. Just make sure you are going out there and voting. 80% of the UK population did not vote for Labour. So just think about that for a second. And if you sat at home and didn't go out and vote because you couldn't be bothered and it won't make a difference, think how many people thought the same thing. That's it. This is end of politics as far as I'm concerned. There might be a prepper podcast with somebody who's related to all of this. But other than that, no more politics on the channel. Everyone support who you want. Support yourselves. Support your own preps. Support your own family. That's what matters. Thanks for watching my ramble. Thank you again to everyone who joined me. For everyone else, thanks for watching. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe. I promise you, it's not all politics. It rarely is. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
World War III cries for help in